Welcome, my darling devotee of shadows. Tonight, you've chosen daringly, haven't you? You've sought the unknown, the forbidden, the whispers from beyond the veil. This is Violet Nocturne, your guide to the scars only the imagination can leave behind. And tonight, we go to a place no key should ever unlock, no eye should ever behold. This, my dear, is the forgotten key. Have you ever stumbled upon something lost? Something that begged to remain hidden? Misplaced books, dust-covered jewelry, strange trinkets, and yet, when they surface, they feel deliberate, like they were waiting just for you? Tonight's tale begins with one such discovery. It was tucked inside an antique jewelry box, or so she thought, bought at the estate sale of a woman who had died with too many secrets. Melanie, our curious seeker, had always envied the lost and beautiful. Handcrafted, gilded, and deceptively delicate, the jewelry box sang in tones of mystery. It practically commanded her to take it home. In the false bottom of the box, beneath its velvet lining, a rusty, ancient key lay hidden, a peculiar artifact with an aura of wrongness. Its jagged edges whispered promises. But my love, you know how this will go, don't you? How often do we listen to those whispers when we should know better? That evening, Melanie let temptation tangle itself like ivy around her soul. The key whispered to her. Every creak, every tick in her apartment felt like breath against her skin, urging her to find the door it unlocked. And find it. She did. A door she had never noticed before, concealed behind the leaning shadows of her forgotten attic. You see, love, this is no ordinary door. The wood felt too cold, the iron handle frostbitten even in the stifling warmth of summer. There was no rational place for this door in her home. It simply should not exist. But such is the lure of the forbidden. Melanie, of course, was already bewitched. The key slid in with ease, no hesitation, as if it had been awaiting her touch for decades, centuries? One cannot be sure. It clicked open, a soft yet menacing sound, like bones snapping in the quiet. Have you ever felt a moment stretch, as if you had slipped through the cracks of time itself? Well, she stepped through. Past the threshold, Melanie found herself not in a room, but in a vast and endless something. Ceilings made from swirling, pulsating ink, walls that bled shadows, and the silence was loud, louder than anything you can imagine. Every step sounded like a scream, muffled so deeply it existed only in her chest. But this realm wasn't empty. Oh no. It was alive. Alive with things that slithered just beyond sight. They moved like flickers on the edge of a candle's flame. Did you just imagine one yourself? Good. Hold on to that fear. It's where the story blooms. At the center of this abyss stood an ornate, gilded mirror. The frame seemed too intricate, grotesque in its beauty, as though it was sculpted by hands that had never touched light. Melanie approached, drawn as though the very atoms in her body yearned to merge with it. The reflection, however, wasn't hers. Or was it? What stared back wasn't her now, but her as she'd been as a child. Her innocent face spattered with fleeting images, choices not made, paths not taken, faces she had forgotten. And behind the reflection, figures clothed in tattered whispers and sorrow. Do you see them in your mind, dear listener? Because Melanie could. One of the figures stretched forth, its gray skeletal fingers reaching through the glass. And it spoke, though the words were not its own. It used her own voice, trembling with fear she refused to acknowledge for years. You unlocked it. You brought us to you. And now, you'll pay. The mirror shattered, not into shards, but liquid, dark as the deepest void. It consumed the space, rushing toward Melanie until she felt like she was drowning in shadow. She clambered, reaching for the door like a swimmer desperate for air, the bargain clawing at her heels. And somehow, breathless, she escaped. For days, weeks perhaps, she avoided the attic, avoided even looking at the key sitting on her kitchen table. But the whispers persisted through dream and daylight. She felt otherworldly breath against her neck. She woke to find her once cherished photographs replaced with images she couldn't recognize. The door wasn't gone, my love. It never really would be. You see, when you entertain shadows, they will always linger. And as for you, dear listener, let this reminder chill your bones. Some things are lost on purpose, not because they are forgotten, but because they are not meant to be found. So, when you come across a rusted key or a sealed door buried by time, ask yourself this one question. What price are you willing to pay for curiosity? This is Violet Nocturne, thanking you for daring to tread with me into the nightmare. Until next time, seek the shadows wisely, my kindred spirit.